I'm just going to record it.
Okay.
So we have this. Yeah, you were talking about the Gayatri Mantra and Om.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah. So this whole coronavirus, this whole pause, has presented me and Deva with this opportunity to share. In a way, it's so interesting because in some ways it feels more close at hand than ever. But we're just connecting to, you know, like 3, 4, 5,000 people every day, every day. So we are connected in a way that we would never have been if this coronavirus hadn't put everyone into lockdown. We would be on the road, out on the road with the band, you know. But this way, every day we can meet 5,000 beloveds, and it's recorded for YouTube and Facebook. And by the end of that day, or the next day when we start again, there's been like 100,000 people meditating and chanting Om and the Gayatri, you know.
Yeah, it's
so
phenomenal.
It's phenomenal, and somehow that's the point, is that that's all I want to do. That's all I want to do now. I had my time with the band. I loved the band. I loved playing with Manoj. I love playing with Manoj. I always play with Manoj. But you know what? These moments with me and Deva, just me and Deva, I love so much. And I'd forgotten how beautiful it is just for the two of us to be together. It's like having more and more people in the bed. You think it's going to be better, but actually it's not. No, actually, it's not true. It can be fantastic, you know. I mean, that band that we had with Joey Baker and Spencer Cousins and Miles Bold, whoa. That rhythm section and that connection was the best. We took that band with Manoj in the front with me and Deva all around the world last year, and it was a fantastic experience for me. You know, as in my older years after the heart operation and everything, so I've been slowly building this band because I want to leave, when I do leave, I want to leave Deva with a really nice ensemble and with people who understand her, who support her and love her and connect. And that's happened with so you know, these guys, they get it. They really get what's happening. They're not just musicians, although they played with you know, Michael Jackson and all kinds of people, you know, and Joan Armatrading and people like that. But they love this vibe of the mantras. They come to these theaters and there's like thousands of people all just up on their feet saying hello, thank you for coming, you know.
Yeah.
And then to be in that, to play music from that appreciation before you play the note for a musician is awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Because usually in the world, unless you're a classical musician or a new age musician, you're playing to people talking.
Yes. And you know, that leads me to something I wanted to ask you to talk a little bit more about, because I interviewed you about, as far as I remember, it's like maybe 12 years ago or something like that for my second book. And you talked about music as meditation, not as entertainment, and that music can take you into ecstatic celebration and into deep inner silence. And I had never thought about music like that before. So I was just deeply impressed with that, you know. I put it in my book. And I was wondering if you could talk a little bit more about that now.
Yeah, sure. It's kind of what I was just saying, you know, about playing live on Facebook now and doing this meditation daily on Facebook, it's incredible to sit there and honestly, in the silence after the chanting and the meditation, it's an incredible thing to sit there with my eyes closed and feel like, oh, something's deepening here. Something's deepening after these 35 days. There's a sense of stillness. And I don't know why, because it's absolutely, totally impossible to know. But it just felt like it's life and death to us. It's that real. And that's why I don't feel and see our music as entertainment. It's life and death. And it really is for me and her, and in a way, for all of us who come. We want to be in the moment. I often tell the audiences now, on this last tour, I said to people, hey, if you want to die, this is a really good moment. If you go now, you can't go wrong. And so sometimes I feel like, all I want to do is just one day, please God, just, fall sideways off my chair in the middle of the Gayatri Mantra while David just carries on chanting, and, I'll be happy. So, it's a funny thing, because in some ways it's really entertaining. We have such a lot of fun, because there's just no performance. Honestly, there's no entertainment value. That's what we don't rehearse a joke. Even if we tell the same joke every night, we never rehearsed it in the first place. It just wanted something, it's just like that. So something that we said one night that we realized was really funny, or it touched a nerve in the collective, so that every time we said it, everybody would laugh. And laughter is such a good medicine in a mantra. Because if not, you start to trip out, and your mind comes in again, and you're just chanting and not thinking about it, and you're thinking about everything else. So laughter is really, and I learned that from Osho too. He was very reverent, and I loved that he would. I mean, sometimes I was embarrassed by his jokes, because sometimes they were just too gross. And I think that the guys who fed him the jokes, he didn't really get what he was saying quite. Some of them were really horrible. But anyway, his understanding is a joke is a great thing, because at that moment, you never know before then that you're going to laugh, and suddenly you're laughing. And laughter, and then I just the other day, David told me, actually, I think I saw it written by that beautiful Buddhist monk who's got 3 syllables to his name, and I can't think, Tang, something like that. I don't know whether he knows it.
Take that hand?
Yes, a beautiful, beautiful man. Yeah. And he was saying, listen, you've got 300 muscles in your face, and if you don't use them, they drop and they get stiff. So smiling is really good. It's really good. So, and so, things like that. Laughter is good. And I learned that again, really, through Osho, because I never, once or twice. I remember the first time I laughed and cried at the same time. I think I remember the first time. I was about 14 or 15. And I was reading John Lennon's book that they just put out called In His Own Right. In His Own Right. It was a book of John's poems, and from, when he was at school and things like that, and his little cartoons. And one Saturday night, after me and my friend had been out, we were mods, we were mods back then, with the scooters and the Who. And it was before that sort of mod time. And anyway, we were in his parents' house, and I remember with some poem it just made us laugh so much that we were just two young boys holding their bellies and rolling around on the floor, laughing and crying at John Lennon's poetry, you know. And laughter is good. I learned with Osho. Then I started to really learn how to cry. I really got into my tears. There were buckets of tears, as Bob Dylan says. Buckets of rain, buckets of tears. God, buckets coming out of my ears. Yeah, it was an amazing time. So, you know, it's just that. And there was never a time when me and Dave felt like, let's do that because we want to reach something. We want to, we never thought to ourselves, let's do that. They'll like that.
Yeah.
You know, as we were never performers like that. We've only, for one thing, we're, you know, we like basic. I'm not a jazz guitar player by any means, you know. Jazz is very delicate to play with mantras because jazz has a underlying coolness to it. That's what jazz is. It's cool. You can't be cool and play mantras. That doesn't work. But if you're like a simple folk musician, where you're more innocent, more unworldly, you can play things like it's just so simple, folk, you know, but that fits for these melodies and the traditional melodies, you know. So our music is not sophisticated, but when we came to record the mantras, we always brought in very sophisticated musicians. If you listen to all our albums, they're all with really tuned in musicians who, even back then when we started, were meditators like us. The essence was made by two Osho sannyasins, Manish Damore and Raj Rishi from Denmark, and Manish Damore, who was a great keyboard player and composer. That was an expression of the experience of being with a master in silence, and it was a musical expression of that depth, and we'd never expressed that before as sannyasin, as Osho musicians. We'd expressed meditation, kind of meditation music, and we'd expressed really strong celebration music, the heart and the meditation. Those two things we recreated as musicians. The experience for everyone. But what we never really made, we never, for me anyway, until David sang the Gayatri Mantra, we'd never been able to express that depth of soul that comes from silence and comes from devotion. It's so deep, and so that was an expression of Osho through his people. Everybody on the album was straight from the ashram.
Yeah.
And then after that, the next two albums were also made with the sannyasin, Love is Space and Embrace in California with Kit Walker, who was with Osho before we met him. So we've had to be really sensitive to what musicians we bring in and how to approach the mantras. Like now the album that just got the Grammy, interestingly enough, is more slightly, it's not jazz, but it's nowhere near jazz, but it has some kind of sensibility to that kind of vibe, but without the hip, without the cool. It's a much more subtle sense of that because it's underplayed. It's played in such a beautiful way that you can. That's an album you can die to, and it's. I remember actually one night for guitar actually playing on a stage. I can't remember where it was or when it was even. No, it was in the last kind of say 2 years. I had a moment when we were playing when I had this conscious thought. Um, the music was so amazing. It was just so amazing. And I had the conscious thought, wow, this is the music I want to hear. Like, this is the kind of music, this is the music I want to hear when I'm dying, because it was so beautiful. And since that moment, and then since my heart operation, that's basically what I'm most into, is like making music that we can just let go finally.
Yeah.
Say thank you,
It's the letting go, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Well, if there's beautiful music and if there's a sense of trust, it's easier, you know. You just,
Letting go into each moment, really, because like each moment is a death, if you like, we're all on that journey towards death. And so each moment we have that opportunity to drop down
yeah,
into that incredible silence and stillness and center to our center and be there. And somehow the music helps us, helps take us there.
yeah.
That's been my experience in your concerts and of your listening to your music and David's music, your CDs, is that it always takes me to that place.
It's because it's because it comes out of silence.
Yes.
It comes from the moment. And you see, there's another way you can look at the moment. It's not just like now, now, now. It's just like one big moment. This is it. It's just a moment. It
Yeah.
starts when we're born and it ends when we die. It's just a moment. So let's just be in the moment,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
remember that. And then we live more consciously, more focused. So that's the way I like to see it. It's one big moment, and in that moment, we play music and we answer emails and we go for walks and we swim and we eat and we drink and we make love and we just do simple things every day. And part of our day is to breathe and have breath work for ourselves. And we can go swimming twice a day, in the ocean. And so we are in a very, very blessed. We're having. I mean, if I didn't read the news, which I try not to anymore, this would be an incredible. I think it's one of the best holidays me and Dave have ever had. Actually, we're having an amazing time together, and that's why we want to reach out every day, because we
Yeah.
know
I was just feeling that you're having an amazing time and you're transmitting that to all of us every
that's
day. So
yeah,
it's shared through these little mini concerts you do every day on Facebook.
yeah,
It's shared through the music, because the music is reaching our heart and our souls and our bodies, and we feel it, because
yeah. Just through the phone, or
yeah, it's a feeling experience, at least it is for me. And just immediately I go in that place, because if I've been in my head, which can happen, and then I have your CD always in my car, And David's CDs I prefer to play in the evening, but I can be in my head and I can go out to my car, and when I turn the engine on, your music comes on, and I go, oh yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So that's great. That makes me very happy, Brigitte.
here I go, back to my center.
Yeah.
Thank you, MITEN. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very powerful. It's just an automatic response for me when I hear your music, and the same with Davis in the evening. I'm currently really liking that Om meditation, that short little download that you
Yeah,
made.
that's beautiful,
And
isn't it?
I just like to put that on in the evening, and then I'm just reminded again, here I am, because it's
Yeah.
so easy to get lost in the head.
Yeah.
So I love having all these little reminders, and the music is just particularly powerful for me. And your music and David's music, it's always really worked for me. I mean, I've got every one of your CDs for like over 20 years, and always waiting for the next song to come out or the next CD, because that's how it works for me. And it's really helped me a lot in different situations I've been in sometimes, which have maybe not been that great. And then I'll put the music on, and it's like, just brings me back to my heart and my soul and my center. And then I'm good. And then I'm like, I'm fine. Yep, I'm home again. And I'm good. Actually, this leads me, because there's one song in particular. This is to everybody watching, this is MITEN's new CD, Devotee, which I love. You have this song in there, All the Way. I mean, I love all the songs, but this song, there's just something about it. This kind of blew my heart wide open and my mind. And
Yeah, that bit about
you sing, even if the daily news is tragic, still we carry on into the beauty of each moment, on into the love that never dies. And the refrain, after all is said and done, in the end, it's love that leads us on. I just love that, and how did that song come to you? And I just think it's so appropriate for now.
If tonight soon be, even if today is here, do not let the past hang on your shoulder. What is done is done. I think it just came like that. It just more or less came like that. It came because of da 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 da. And then it had to go somewhere, so it went, so after all is said. And that's the key part of the song. In the end, it's love that leads us. And then there's the next part, which I like, about the heart and the mind.
Yeah.
So when the cold wind blows and the oceans roar and the God of love is knocking at your door and your mind says no. That's what the mind says no. That's the thing about, putting a circle around the relationship. Sometimes you have to say no to love. And that's what I never wanted to do, So the mind just said no, but the heart said, carry me away.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the way that I've lived, really. I've just followed that and trusted that, and it's brought me to where I am now. So I'm certainly, not an expert in anything, but I've learned some stuff. That's for sure, and stuff that I've learned has been helpful in being able to share something of who I am through my journey with others.
Yes. Yeah.
And I can only do it this way. I for years I thought about a book, and I thought, I have got so many stories and so many memories of this life, and it's got to a point now where I've forgotten all the stories. So, I've just got too old, all the stories are gone now. I'm just remembering some flash by, but, but, so it's got to be in the moment. It's got to be with this beautiful guitar that's not this one, but this one has been good. My guitar got very badly damaged 2 days ago. And it's now at the luthiers being repaired. And my good friend from around the corner, he lent me this. It's called a Taylor, you see. And it's
Okay.
Taylor is a good make. They make good guitars at Taylor's. And it's a mini one that he travels with. So he's lent it to me, so I have a guitar. But I told the people yesterday in the meditation, you don't need a guitar to meditate. So
No, you don't. You don't.
I didn't have a guitar.
I do think music. I remember Osho saying, I think it was laughter, dancing, and music are the easiest ways to get into meditation.
It's the Sufi path.
Yeah.
Sufi path.
I found that to be true. Yeah.
Poetry, devotion, music, whirling.
Yeah.
There's no dogma in Sufi tradition, really.
Yeah.
It's all based on ecstasy and a divine ecstatic poet, that the Rumi expressed and the whirling expresses. You whirl like that for hours. You whirl yourself, you whirl all your conditionings away. And those people, and it still goes on, like hours. I have a friend who can whirl for like 3 hours, 4 hours, and she does. And she, in Turkey, at Rumi's too. And, she's whirled so much of her conditioning away. She's like pure spirit, beautiful.
Right.
So, you just... So yeah, Osho is great like that. He taught, for a time then there would be all the Sufi.
I remember that.
A Sufi, so we used to love to play these Sufi, minor things, and then there are other times there would be. My phone's going, but I hope it doesn't sound. So Sufis, and then we would make our own music. We would be. Osho didn't like jazz either. He called it zazz, and he didn't really. But what he did like was samba.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Osho, and towards the end of his life, we had some Brazilian musicians there in the ashram, and they were master musicians, both of them. One of them in particular, Nivedano, his name was. He was in a band called Weather Report in the 70s, a very amazing fusion band. And anyway, he taught the whole musical department how to play samba. And samba is street music, it's root music, it's just to move the body. It's all percussion, and it's got this throbbing. So you're just in this kind of rhythm. So everybody's dancing like this, and these drums are just pounding, and everybody's moving and dancing, and then comes the musical part. The musical part is on the keyboards, and it's all in the minor. It's like, so you get this, you get this kind of that kind of over this, and it's like the spiritual music. The spiritual music is up there, and underneath there's this male-female kind of thing. And the female is the root. It's not the airy fairy. That's the man up there. The female is this pulsation of life, you know. And so we're all moving to the Great Mother. And at the top, there's this, and Osho loved that. So he would, when he would come out just before he died, he would really love to dance. He would dance with us. And I think if you go back in history, I don't think you'll find many gurus and teachers and masters who actually danced.
I know, probably not. I've never thought about that, but actually, no, probably not.
Can you imagine Krishnamurti dancing with his disciples? Of course not. You know, or Ramana Maharshi. You know,
Yeah.
it's a different thing. But this man, he was connected to the root. He
Yeah.
was like, come on, he wasn't. He didn't really have much rhythm, but it didn't matter. He just came out, and just to see him laughing and dancing was, and being, when you dance, you're naked. You're really showing a part of yourself that you don't normally show. And so for him to come out and do that was just so heart-opening. It would just make you cry, you know. And the music would be pounding and you'd be laughing and crying all at the same time. What the hell am I? You know, this is amazing. And I was old enough to know that this was the right place. It wasn't like I felt, oh, I'm just a teenager and I'm just being duped by some sort of charlatan or something. I knew this is the real thing, you know.
Yeah.
This was the real thing. So it helped me to live in the reality of the now as best I can.
So before we finish up, is there any chance you could let everybody hear that little snippet that I heard on the beach? So this is so cool. I just loved it.
Let me see if I can. Let's see, get this in tune. Okay, I'll try. I need a beach. I need a place in the sun, somewhere out of reach, somewhere I can run free, free from this world, trouble and pain. I try to explain. I need a beach. I need a beach. I need a place in the shade. Sit down and forgive myself for the mistakes that I made. Free from this world of trouble and strife. I'm leaving, I'm not thinking twice. I need a beach. It doesn't have to be in Saint-Tropez, I don't mind. Venice Beach down in West LA, that'll suit me fine. Copacabana, Malibu, yeah. Any old beach will do. I just need some time to get myself straight, slow down my mind and meditate. Meditate on this world full of troubles and fears. Meditate on this ocean of fears and tears. I need a beach. Here's another line for Guido. You like this? Take me down to Blackpool Town, South End on Sea, Ipanema, that's all right with me. I got some friends down in Byron Bay. They will blow your mind away. just need some sand under my feet. A little rocking band with a reggae beat. You can call me crazy, call me. Oh, that's it. Oh, that's good. Hey, there's another line in there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Call me crazy, say I'm out of touch, but that human touch is what is. Oh yeah, it goes. Anyway, it's a good line. It's about call me out of touch, but it's the human touch that means so much, and I need a beach because I'm not getting that human touch. I am, but anyway, it's nice, huh?
I love it. I love it. Thanks.
You can also play reggae beat. I need a beach.
Yeah.
I need a place in the sun.
So uplifting.
Way out of reach, where I can run, free from this world of trouble and pain. But I love the sun, I love the rain. I need a beach. Yeah, goes like that.
Fantastic.
All right, my
So
love.
before we finish up, MITEN, do you have any final thoughts? Anything you want to say to everybody? I know you talk to everyone every day, but
No, I've said enough.
all right.
All right, my love. Thank you so much for this time together. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too. It's been really fun. And thank you so much for doing this. So now I just have to figure out if I can find, oh, there it is. Find the right button.
Good luck.
But thank you so much, MITEN.
Okay. See you, darling. Namaste.
Namaste.